Hey, everybody. The last podcast of 2024. Oh, my gosh. We freaking did it.
Wow, that's crazy.
And you know what else we're doing? We're doing a tour in 2025, and you guys can sign up. Go to themotoacademy.com. You know what's funniest about that?
What?
That was by accident at first. Freaking POS.
No, it wasn't.
That was intentional right from the beginning?
Yeah.
Okay, go to themotoacademy.com. Coach Mitchell and myself, I'm doing a bunch of 2-dayers. The 2-day is optional. You can do both if you want. You can do just one if you'd like. I just want to give people the option to be able to spend more time with me if they so desire. And Allie knows what that's like, and it's quite awesome. So if you guys want to spend more time with me, go to themotoacademy.com, sign up. The early bird special is finally over for the summer camps, but you can still certainly sign up. We have 3 summer camps this year, 2 of which are at Winchester. Were you just asking about Winchester?
I was hoping you would.
We're starting to do the Winchester takeover, and things are escalating quickly. We'll talk about that a little bit in this podcast, but you can sign up for the summer camp in the meantime. 1 in June, 1 in July. You can do both if you want. We'll give you a discount. Why not? And we're going to, what's after 2? 3. We're going to Salt Lake City in August.
I'm excited for that
for
one.
a summer camp, and that's going to be amazing because that track, Jordan River State Park, is that what it's called?
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. The owner is awesome. The location is perfect. There's a sushi place there that we love. Salt Lake's a cool spot. Yeah, love it. So go check it out. Also get in the app. We just finished 12 Days of Christmas, which is one of our most favorite. What's the song? Gosh darn it. It's one of our best times of the year. 12 days in a row.
Most wonderful time of the year?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And who won? Who was the grand prize winner?
Allie.
That's right. Not this Allie. Allie Crivello.
Shout out the name Allie.
Shout out Allie. I think she's from P&W for sure. I want to say Oregon or Washington. She won a trip to fly in and hang out with myself and the whole team to go to Gillette Supercross to spectate, and then go to Moto Academy Supercross on Sunday, which will be our soft opening of our Supercross track in New Hampshire. So that's going to be an epic trip. And then we picked 11 other winners on the 11 other days for a whole bunch of different things.
Yeah, there was a lot of good things this year.
And we go live every day when we do that. So, and this was the first year where we had other people pop in. I think Jackson did a live stream one of the nights. Dave Drakes was running the show maybe one of the nights. It's fun. And this is our first 12 Days of Christmas in the new 2.0 app, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like last 12 Days of Christmas went by really slowly, and this one went by really quickly.
Really quick. Well, I also feel like I was on a plane.
Yeah, you were for
the
a
whole
lot of
time, so it just made it even more hectic, and it made it absolutely fly by.
Thank goodness your schedule's slowing down.
This will be the 2024 wrap-up podcast. This will also be 2025, maybe setting the tone, setting some goals. A little goal setting talk.
Ooh, we're gonna set some goals
for 2025. And then also Jackson put up a post earlier today for those of you inside of the app for podcast questions. And we got a whole bunch of them. So we'll fire off some podcast questions at the end. Also sitting here is Alley Cat. Nice hoodie.
Thanks. I pulled it out. It's a old one, isn't it? Oh no, this one was from last year.
I can no longer pinpoint what era our apparel is from because we've had so much of it at this point, which is cool.
Yeah. No, this one I think was from 2024.
No.
Or end of 2023.
I don't
really
think so. I want to say 22 or 21.
Well, I will say I like this type of hoodie, but this one isn't box. It's like too tight.
Yeah, because that one's not a heavyweight.
It's like true to size.
Yeah.
Is what I mean. Like I like the oversized.
Me too. The heavyweight stuff always fits more oversized.
The heavyweight makes me look like
Your heavyweight? Your heavy set?
No, who's the guy cartoon I always say I looked like because I have
Johnny
broad
Bravo?
shoulders. Yeah. Those make me look like Johnny Bravo, so I can't wear those.
Also, I just want to point out how absolutely sick my shirt is.
I thought you were going to say shredded.
And also, I'm going to start this podcast out by sitting disrespectfully in honor of Dave Drakes. Also, just want to point out how absolutely sick with it my shoes are.
I kind of disagree.
Yeah, me too. But you know what I like about these shoes the most?
What?
They're super uncomfortable. But
Are
I
they?
like I like the orange part. right? The
Yeah,
orange part's cool.
I could take an orange Sharpie to any of your shoes if you really want to do something
Yeah.
like that.
So these are off-whites. I bought these a long time ago.
Did I not get those for you?
I don't
Honestly,
remember.
I think that they're okay.
All I know is I bought
without the
these.
tag on them. That's
I
decorative.
took the tag off,
I know.
which you're not supposed to do. That's kind of like that's like a staple of the off-white.
And
but,
that is the lamest thing I've
but
ever
I took
seen.
it off
Yeah.
because I'm a rebel. All I know is I bought these. Lucas saw them and loved them. And then like the next time I saw Lucas, he had them.
And you did that to him with the Le Labo.
Oh yeah, and I stole his Le Labo. So we're fair.
Did you hear, this is random, and dirt bike riders might know nothing about this, but do you know the Birkin bag? I think it's the Hermes Birkin bag. They're like very, very expensive. And the internet is outraged right now because Walmart just came out with one. And they're calling it the working bag with a W for the working class people. It's real leather and it's literally a replica of the Birkin bag. And so everyone's buying it and excited about it. And it just makes you think how stupid it is. Like, I guess a lot of like wealthy people are enraged about it.
That enrages me.
Ew. But I just think it's funny because why are people spending? Some of the bags are like hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Really?
I mean, you can
That's
get them for
insane.
like 10 grand, but like,
Okay.
why are we buying things like
I will
that?
say though, I'm in a phase, and I don't think this is a phase. I like the concept, especially after when we were talking about this in a live stream, of not buying just like subpar kind of mid-tier stuff that you wear a couple of times and then you're just disposing of it
Yeah.
however people dispose of their clothes, which is really not good. We watched a documentary on Netflix.
Buy now. That's what it's called.
Buy Now.
I think everybody should watch that documentary.
And so I never bought stuff anyway. It was like it was very rare that I would go clothing shopping, but now like it really made me think about the stuff I was buying. So I liked the concept of like buying expensive, good.
Why does it have to? Why do you have to say expensive?
Oh, just well, because
The
stuff
price
should be
has nothing to
expensive,
do with
but
it.
the price should have something to do with it, and that it should be the highest quality material.
Well, there you go.
And they should price it high so it discourages people from buying a lot of them.
I actually completely disagree. Because the whole point of what you just said, you want to buy high quality pieces.
Yep.
It could be the price should be irrelevant in the statement you made to people because that seems egotistical.
I don't think so. I was
But-
watching another documentary.
Okay, don't worry about what I was saying. Go
On
ahead.
Tulum in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
They were talking about how all the people shop locally of all like organic, whatever, and
Organic what? Natural materials?
just natural materials. And they have limited, like they don't have a huge wardrobe, but the stuff even there is priced high.
Well,
Because
I
it's
would
like
rather.
handmade,
It's like minimalist, where you have a few good quality pieces.
so it should be priced fairly high.
I don't think that the price necessarily has anything to do with it. I think what matters is that you're buying natural fibers and real materials made from animals or made from cotton or whatever, instead of buying polyester clothes. I mean, Lululemon charging $110 for a pair of leggings that are polyester or like literally made out of plastics, and then we're sweating and it's going into like our lymphs and all of the things, and we wonder why we're having so many problems in the world today. Everything that you usually wear head to toe because you were sponsored by them is full of microplastics.
Brands like that are either going to phase out or they're going to have to make a huge switch.
No.
Because people are going to wake up to that.
No, and what's
sooner or
I
later.
mean, it's so funny that I think this way now because I'll talk about like capitalism and stuff like that. But like a lot of my, obviously, my political views and things like that. And this stuff sort of contradicts it a little bit. I love Biden. Biden's my boy. But this kind of contradicts it a little bit, which is interesting. But I think that's why I'm an independent anyways. But
Right.
you just learn like there's so many small brands out there that are trying to make like an impact, and their pieces have to be a little bit more expensive to sell good quality products. And then people don't purchase them, one, because they're not trending, and two, because they're a little bit
Because
more
the other
expensive.
brands are only about quantity over quality.
Yeah, it's sad.
And in that documentary, it talks about how many new items that like these brands like Gap or Zara or H&M
Love Zara.
produce each
Yeah.
year. And I thought it was going to say like 5,000 new items or something.
Wait, and you
It
mean
was
like different styles?
Yes, like new like SKUs, like new styles. of their whatever.
So if let's say it's 5 billion new styles, that's not the right number. They also make thousands of that one
Right.
style. Yeah.
Right. It was like millions.
Yeah.
I
I
thought it
mean,
was,
Zara,
I thought it was gonna be like thousands.
a new Zara season.
Because that would be appropriate. Like Zara, okay,
Yeah.
here, spring release. We have 20 new items. That's how it probably should be. That's how I thought it was in my head. But no, millions of SKUs. And then there's however many of each of those SKUs. That is nuts. That's disgusting.
Well, and then if you actually peel
Anyways,
back.
by the way, nobody listening to this podcast cares about any of this.
I hope that they do.
I'm thinking of Mr. Beast when he's on podcasts and he just like so quickly understands when it's becoming irrelevant to the audience and it's just like a second of it and he nips it in the bud. He's like, nope, okay, we got to talk about something different.
With his podcast.
Yeah, like when he's a guest on a podcast, he'll call out the host and just be like, listen, nobody wants to, let's do this conversation a different way.
Really?
Yeah.
So do you think that your audience only cares to listen about dirt bike related things?
No, I don't think so.
I would actually be curious to know because I told AJ today, was this today in the car? Shout out Shop 2, awesome new coffee shop we found. Just a moment for the best coffee we've had in Connecticut.
Yep.
We were on the way to the coffee shop this morning.
In Marlboro?
Yeah, Marlboro, Connecticut. We were meeting some of our friends and their son for coffee, and I said to AJ, I want 2025 to be the year that the Moto Academy makes like a really big difference. And I don't mean a difference in just riding dirt bikes, but I'm not really sure what that means yet because I feel like we'd have to ask the community a little bit of things that they would like to see, but I would like to see us expand into really making change and impact in other ways other than just teaching people to be better individuals and better riders, safer riders, whatever your slogan is.
What's our slogan?
I can only think of MX Factories right now.
Why? What's MX Factory?
I don't. Isn't it like better riders? Oh, something stupid.
It's not. I don't think it's stupid. I don't know.
It's not. I'm just being sarcastic. I don't know. It came and went. I don't want to talk about this right now.
Okay. All right.
But
2024.
Anyways,
Let's let me guide this conversation. 2024.
no, I was going somewhere really good with it. I wasn't even
Okay.
done. AJ, you want to play footsies with me?
Keep going.
You like my slips?
Yeah.
These are high quality and not super expensive. So what I meant by this, what I meant by the whole like just a larger impact, you're gonna get eaten to shreds for sitting like that. I always see people.
Good. You know what
Chew you-
2024
I
officially
always
was
see
for me?
people chew you out for crossing your legs, and I'm like, someone watches the podcast and that's what they care
You want to
about.
know what 2024 was for me?
Yeah,
Can
let's
you
hear
take
it.
a guess?
Not giving a
Oh,
flying.
I never
Fun
really
bag?
did, but 2024 was the year of me really, and I mean really not caring.
I could tell I liked it. It rubbed off on me a little bit.
Really not
Not- it
caring.
didn't rub off
And
that
when I
much,
say that, I think people always receive me saying that or anybody saying that in like a
Egotistical
negative
way.
way, right? But I don't mean it like that. I mean it as in like nothing external is affecting anything that's going on here. I'm going to sit however I want and I'm going to do whatever I want. And you know why I can say that? Because I do the right thing all the time, Allie. And gosh, it feels good. It feels good.
Yeah.
When you don't cut corners, when you treat people right, and when you do the right thing and function with integrity 100% of the time, even when people are throwing curveballs at you.
Yeah, we've had a lot of those.
I can sit disrespectfully like this.
Technically, it's not super disrespectful because while your legs are open and your knees are outward, your crotch is at least pointing not towards the camera. So it could be
Well,
worse.
you know what? I'm going to dedicate
And here it goes.
I'm going to dedicate
Yeah,
this
that's the
whole
most disrespectful
podcast
way.
of sitting as disrespectfully as I can to you know who. Dave Drakes is who I'm
I just heard your mom yell, "Watch your head," and I'm nervous. This is dedicated to Dave Drakes.
going to this whole
Shout out your reformer because that's probably why you're this flexible.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, 2024 was the year of me taking up Pilates, by the way.
You're welcome.
And that was my idea. I bought it. We
You
have a
only
pl-
bought it because I don't use my debit card I only use it for Apple Pay, and it expired, and so I didn't know it, and so we had to use your debit card because you had to use a debit. It was like this whole thing.
And you got to transfer from your checkings from your savings to your
Actually,
checking.
technically, thank you very much. I created the sponsorships, the biggest sponsorships for you for 2025.
Speaking of which, one of our biggest sponsor of 2024.
Shout out Element.
Shout out.
What's this? Should I do this?
I was shouting out. Shout out Element, our biggest sponsor of 2024.
I heard Dylan call it LMNT today.
Yeah, that's incorrect, I think.
I don't think it matters, but it threw me off for a second.
drinklmnt.com/AJCat330. Support them because they have supported us like nobody's business.
Yeah, like nobody. They've supported us, not as much as we've supported ourselves, but they're the next one down. Yeah.
Quite a bit.
drinklmnt.com/AJCat330. Oh, ladies and gentlemen.
And it's an electrolyte drink. It's quite tasty.
Grapefruit's the best.
And yeah, I think it's cool that they were willing to like think outside the box in the marketing a little bit with going with us in the first place. And then they just kept up in the ante, and
yep, they're going to be supporting.
We signed on for the first 6 months, 25, right?
Yep. At like a pretty great rate, which is wonderful. They're going to be supporting us for Winchester.
Yeah, which means also that you guys are using the link, which is cool.
Thank you.
So keep using it.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. What else happened in 2024? So we bought a Pilates reformer, which was
we're starting at the end of the year. Does that matter?
Sure, we're gonna go back. We're gonna work backwards. I was pretty anti-workout at home because I just thought that
I've been trying to work out at home since.
Thought it was a bad idea, but I've changed my mind on that.
Well, you should listen to more often.
It was more so I just think I was just wanting to like
go out and check out the dump trucks at the gym.
I wanted to do some dump truck spectating.
Yeah.
But then I think I realized that the gym just really didn't have any good dump trucks.
Well, the problem is that they're very young.
I mean, that's fine.
Like, they're
over 18. What? No? Oh, well. Yeah, they are.
So where do we go?
And we're canceled. And just as I said, I can say whatever I want. The police are knocking on the door.
Yeah.
No, I hate that gym. And I realized that
it's really bad.
All it takes to work out at home is
being a parent and realizing you have zero time to go anywhere else.
Just doing it.
Yeah. How long have I been trying to tell you that for?
Yeah, just doing it. The Pilates is good because I think I was kind of weaning off of working out, period, because I just wasn't into like the pounding yourself into the ground type of workouts.
Well, because you were doing that mentally with your job.
I just sort of like the kind of more like meditative workouts, like a yoga, which I haven't done in forever and I would love to. And Pilates feels like yoga, kind of.
Yeah, so I found this reformer, and at first I found them because they do rentals. So if you live on the West Coast, you can actually rent. It's called Your Reformer. They're an Australian company. And Pilates is like one of the best workouts that you can do just because it literally works every single muscle. Your small muscles, your larger muscles. It makes you more flexible. It gives you great stability and balance. Like, it is just an all-around great workout. And you can adjust your spring set to make it as heavy or as light as you want. So it's not like, oh, I have to go to the gym and lift heavy weights so that way I can gain a lot of muscle. No, you can literally do that on a Pilates reformer too.
Oh my God. And you know what I realized yesterday with it, which is obvious, but I didn't know. The further the carriage gets away from the foot thing, the harder it gets because you're putting more tension on the spring.
Yeah, of course, resistance.
I was doing like shoulder presses. So they had me in some position where I was like on my knees on the box beside it and like shoulder pressing out the carriage. Mm-hmm. And it was extremely difficult because like in close, it wasn't bad. And then as I'd get further and extend my arm, it was like wicked heavy. It was like I was shoulder pressing 100 pounds.
So I found this because I was trying to go all the way to Solid Core in West Hartford to work out. And each class was like almost $40, which was ridiculous.
To work out with J Daddy?
Yeah, to work out with AJ's ex-girlfriend as an instructor. Love that. And
shout out.
J Daddy. And it was like almost $40 a class, and I was driving 30 minutes each way, plus an hour class, and I'm like, I don't want to spend that much time away from my daughter. So I found this one. If you're on the West Coast, you can rent the reformer for like each month. It's on a monthly basis for however long or short you want. It's way cheaper than doing classes at a Pilates studio because Pilates is expensive.
Yeah, it is.
And it comes with an app that's $12 a month. And the app has so many classes. Like I actually remember.
How many does it have? Like we're not going to run out?
Thousands.
Oh, it does?
Yeah. And they
Holy
upload
cow.
new ones all the time.
Wow.
They actually have ones which would be great for riders if you're coming back from knee injuries. Like they have all sorts of stuff. It's really, really good. So
I wish it was as simple to do that for dirt bikes.
it is. Anything that you do in the gym, you can do on a Pilates reformer.
No. I'm saying I love the concept of their app and that it's just so easy for them because they can just put out new videos of them doing different workouts on this reformer that's just in one place and not moving anywhere.
Oh, meaning like you need a track and
I'm
a
thinking
bike
of like
to take to the
our
track.
courses, just something that's applicable for people on the dirt bike to get in reps or workouts, different types of workouts on the dirt bike. It's just
Maybe that's doable.
difficult. Yeah, I know. There's got to
What
be
if you
a
did
way
it
of
at
doing
like
that I
different
haven't thought of.
tracks? You had playlists for different tracks and you visited all the tracks in the US and did there's something there. Anyways,
That's a good one. Yeah, because that
I
is
come
kind of
out
what
with
we're.
so many good ideas and then you'll take credit for them like
That's
3
kind
months later.
of so. Yeah, I had this idea like at Winchester.
Oh, he's bringing up Winchester.
Didn't you just ask about Winchester?
Yeah,
So
sure.
at Winchester, we're going to have it so that we do each section on the track will be a module inside of the app. So you can go and anytime we rebuild a section and change up a section, which I plan to do for like we're having 6 races in 2025 Moto Academy Supercross Series, and each of the 6 races it'll be like a different rhythm section or a whoop pad will be in a different spot. Like I want to consistently change the track up, and every time we do that, we'll have video modules inside the app on that
I
specific
know you're
section.
doing it, but I know
Which
like
be
it's set in
awesome.
stone and you're not like blowing a secret or anything, but are you sure you want to talk about it just yet?
Oh yeah, it's far.
I know
along.
it's happening, but
Yeah, I mean it's far along.
I
Yeah.
know, just that's really cool.
And you'll unlock badges inside of the app as you pass the courses for each of the modules. So like as you master each section, which would be really cool. The sections will be named after different riders inside of the app, which would be kind of cool. So like when you get the badge, it'll be like how Arbenz has the white
alley
the
badge?
white boot badge for jumping the 100-footer at Tomahawk. I just think it's such a cool concept.
And
There's
people like
so
those
many-
badges.
Yeah. And the badges right now are nothing but like bragging rights, but we're going to attach different incentives to having X amount of badges.
That's cool.
And it'll be like a whole gamified system.
That's really cool. Sweet. I know we talked about also doing like some sort of workout room there. It'd be really cool.
Pilates.
Yeah. And like but I don't know how I would be able to teach classes or personal train with like, we'd have to find a local dump truck.
Oh, why?
Because how would I do that with a baby?
Yeah. I'm sure we could
unless
find a
we
local
found
dump truck.
someone we trusted in that area to watch Millie, but that would probably be difficult to come by.
We're still here. For those listening,
we
Driver
sure
Jamie,
are.
shout out Driver Jamie. We're still here.
Shout
Don't
out
worry, we
Driver
didn't go
Jamie.
anywhere.
Oh, shout out the Moto Academy Sprinter van.
Shout out the Moto Academy Sprinter van. Speaking of things we shouldn't be talking about yet because it's not a done deal. The Moto Academy Supercross Series is a done deal. The Moto Academy van being sold is not, although it sounds as we've got a buyer. We've got a buyer.
I mean, I love that thing, but it's so not necessary for our
Yeah,
lives.
it's definitely not necessary. We don't use it. We're definitely, based on our 2025 plan, we really wouldn't use it. So I'd rather it go into somebody's hands. It's the nicest moto van I've ever seen in person. So I'd rather it be getting used
Yeah,
than
it's
just
sweet.
sitting in our shop, or right now it's in our driveway.
Lots of good memories in it. And if you race Supercross in the future or we need one again, we'll just do it again.
Yep.
And maybe we learn some things we don't like about it or we do like
Mm.
about it and we can tweak it a little bit. Because, you know, it's kind of lame for us. Like to have it, but to not be able to take it places and like sleep in it or have a bathroom in it or
You can sleep in it. It's got a queen size
I
bed.
can't
that
go to the
folds out.
bathroom in it. Are
You
you going to send
could.
me out into the woods? I could.
I mean, you could.
What an odd thing to say.
Technically, you could go to the bathroom anywhere.
Yeah, well,
Millie did it today.
yeah, Millie does do that. She does do that. So
What else? 2024.
I feel like we started off really hot and heavy and now you screwed it all up.
What else did we do in 2024?
You moved me to Florida to start the year.
Oh yeah, we started the year in Florida,
Shout out hating that.
and the intention behind moving to Florida was trying to find the right property and the right match to find our community spot and a
And you know
property
what,
for the
ladies and
community.
gentlemen, I just want to say that a lot of things that end up happening here at the Moto Academy takes us a little bit, but AJ ends up listening to me. So this Winchester idea, who brought up Winchester last year?
Yeah,
Yeah,
what's funny is
it was me.
Yeah, was it?
It was me.
Thought for
And then
sure.
Rob said something, and then you were like, "What a good idea!" And I was like, "Oh yeah, what a good idea."
Yeah, so we live in Glastonbury, Connecticut, which is like an hour and a half on the dot from Winchester in New Hampshire. It's a track I grew up racing and
Nicest
have loved
owners.
for the longest time. The owners are great. There's a lot of reasons why it made sense. I guess it just never, it was like so obvious that it just didn't.
No, it did, just not for you.
Yeah. So now what's funny is 2024 goes by, and now at the very tail end of 24, we are going Winchester route, and it just makes sense for every reason.
Yeah, there's such a large community here of riders. I mean, I know that they're everywhere.
Yeah, and it's where I
learn to ride.
it's where I learned to ride from age 2 to age
Close
14.
to your home, so you don't have to travel away from your wife and your daughter.
Yep. And and it started as the idea started as, hey, you got the Supercross track. It's just sitting there, not really doing much with it. Like, can we do something with it? Are you guys open to us doing something with this Supercross track? And Deb and Fran were super open to it. And then it was a matter of having a conversation with finding a track builder. So I went with Robbie because he knows the dirt and he has a relationship already with Deb and Fran doing the tracks. I told him about my idea. Robbie said he loved it. Like, New England community, this is the perfect time to do something like that. Like, if we're going to do it, let's go all out, which is what I wanted to do. And literally hang up the phone on that phone call of like presenting the idea, and the machines were there digging the dirt within 2 hours. And so everybody on my team was like, hey, did you forget to tell us something? Or I'm like, nope, just happened that quick. Whoopsie daisy. So built the track 90% of the way there basically. And now it's just collecting some snow and sitting there hardening, which is perfect timing. The fact that we had it built before, because had we waited and then tried to build it in the spring when everything's thawing, that track would have been a rutted mess until July.
Would have liked you to pay for all of it when it was finished, but you paid him early.
Yeah, paid him early. Whoopsie daisy. But that's sometimes what we do here at the Moto Academy.
Yeah, it's
we
what
jump
you
the
always
gun.
do. Yeah.
So, yeah, but Robbie will put the finishing touches on it in hopefully in March would be ideal. And then the ideas basically started just compounding, and it was like, all right, well, if we're gonna built the Supercross track, originally it was like maybe I could just kind of use it for content. Even if I spend 20 grand on a Supercross track build, like, it's well worth it to just film instead of flying my team all over the freaking world. And then I'm like, well, maybe we could do a race series. Like, how cool would it be to bring a race series under the lights, like have it be what it was?
Are they always at night? You always say under the lights. Like, do they not?
They don't have to
during
be
the
at
day?
night, but they have really good lights there. And
Is there
Supercross
anything dangerous about that?
No, the lights are good.
Nothing could be a con of that
Getting cold, maybe, if it gets cold at night sometimes.
in April. Definitely a possibility.
Yep. But Supercross, it's different. When you race under the lights, like, it's different. It's cool in a cool way. It just feels like that's what people want to ride, that Supercross track, because that's what they watch on TV. What they watch on TV is people racing in front of all these fans under the lights. Like, it's just that it creates that feeling.
I have a really good idea. Remind me.
What? So we're gonna market to the local. I want to market.
Are we doing a documentary?
Yeah. Why?
Keep going.
We already got film from Danny Stewart from me riding Winchester back in the day.
Cool.
We could probably make this documentary. We could probably level it up even more if we wanted to, but yeah.
Cool.
So we're gonna bring that to New England. So we're doing 6 races in 2025, 3 in the spring, 3 in the fall. We're going to have a couple of open practice days on that track. And then I was like, well, if we're doing that, why don't we just use this as our home base to have a regular training structure? So I asked Deb and Fran, and yeah, our insurance situation is really good. I don't see why that couldn't be a thing.
Oh, they're like fully insured there.
Yeah, and you just can pay per day in a situation like that, and it's not that
So
expensive.
the rider pays for the insurance fee, or the trainer does? You're saying?
Well,
I was just always
I would
wondered
pay
how
for
that
it.
worked with tracks.
It's different everywhere. Every state's different, but
That's good.
they have a good insurance situation, thankfully, and it allows us to. We're going to be doing 3 to 4 days a week every week. So with myself, with Coach Grant, with Mitchell, when he's flying in, with Coach Ty, who we're going to train and bring him in. And this will be a place for us to be able to hone and tailor our coaches and have a regular training schedule, which is going to be everything I've always wanted to do. So all of our content will be based around that. It's going to be sick.
Are you going to have some like cool riders come out to it?
Yeah.
You know who I want to get there?
Who?
Duke Gomez.
Juco. Well,
I just saw he did a Gypsy Tales podcast.
Yeah. And he's been like doing stuff with different riders. I saw he was doing something with Ty Masterpool maybe at one point. Yeah,
I
and he
love
lives
Duke
in New
Gomez.
Jersey, I think. So
yeah, he goes to Field of Dreams all the time to ride.
So yeah, that would be easy for him. I used to ride with his brother and probably him.
Yeah, you told me that.
All the time.
Didn't his brother get hurt?
Yeah, he doesn't have a foot or something.
Wow.
Like that. And he's good. He's fast.
That's really cool.
Anyhow, and then I was like, well, shoot. There's the announcer tower building. It's a huge building. Like we could just make that the podcast studio. And then I'm like, well, we could probably make that into like a couple different bedrooms. Like what can we make out of that building? And then
AJ,
basically
we don't invest into properties that aren't ours, remember?
Well, right. So there's levels to this idea. I mean, there's levels to it, but
sure, there definitely is.
It's leveling up quickly and I'm excited. So all I can talk about is Winchester. And that is a lot of 2025. But anyhow, let's stay on the rails here. 2024.
We were looking for property in Florida. Moved me and a freshly out of the womb baby to Florida for 3 or 4 months. Hated it.
Yeah, and then I think it was also that was the final straw of like, I don't really know if I like Florida.
And also, why do you need a training facility for people to train at in the winter? Is that a dumb question?
Yeah, kind of. Because
Well, I have a solution for that, though.
Indoors. What?
Yeah.
Obviously. No, on the moon. Yeah. So, yes, that's speaking of the levels conversation of Winchester, indoors would be the idea because you've got to, if you're somebody that's trying to ride competitively, you can't take off from December to May.
The goal eventually is to own our own property in New England. We have hopes that it could be Winchester. There's been conversations and things like that for down the road. We're also open to places closer to home with, fresh land that we can completely design everything ourselves. It's everything that we're looking into. There's definitely a need for more stuff in New England because the tracks that are here, you have some that you like, but I know a lot of them you don't prefer.
Yeah.
And it seems like a lot of tracks are closing and have issues. Like I'm on TikTok sometimes and there's all these writers talking about how people are getting hurt and people are suing tracks.
Also people don't know how to run a business, really.
Well, especially in the dirt bike world. Like you were talking about earlier.
Especially anywhere. People don't know how to run businesses.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's especially like, I really
You want to know
it.
what also 2024 was?
What?
I'm pretty good at running a business.
You are very good at running a business.
I'm pretty freaking good at it. And I would say in 2023, I was like starting to figure it out. I'm still very much figuring it out, but
2023.
I'm getting good at
2023, you had it in you, but you were moving too quickly. That's your problem. And that's why I get nervous about Winchester. Although I know that we're in a different place now because you have an idea and you take off and you don't think about the risks. So 2025 is going to be the year of putting it all together. Mm-hmm. But 2023, you were a little too. You had the partnerships with Jed, and then you had Supercross, and then you had that old facility we almost bought, and
things were happening quick.
It was too much, and we didn't enjoy it because of that. So I think we realized slowing down, goal setting.
Yep, and from the from the outside looking in, 2024, I don't know what it appeared to from like anybody
Probably
that would have been watching.
Chill. Wait, 2024 was your first summer camps.
Yeah, so there were new things, and we upped our content. So like our footprint online would have been more, but we also like we were, we put Grant into a filming role, which Grant wanted to be a
Grant.
trainer, and so like I think our content wasn't as good then, and now our content with Ethan is pretty good again.
Ethan's awesome. Grant's awesome.
And we're doing a lot of it. But yet 2024 was a year of maybe less innovative ideas and new ideas.
Well, yeah, because there was a lot of shifting in like roles.
Because I was spent really deep in like organizing the team and setting up, systems and processes and like business stuff.
Yeah, I feel like now that we have Hannah in the COO role, previously how it was run was good too, but there's something very specific about Hannah and how she's been able to create a lot and organize things. And I feel like now that we've got her in place and comfortable at the end of the year, like next year is going to be a good year of like just visionary type stuff.
And so tying that into this conversation for you guys, providing value to you guys maybe, is that we started our 25 conversations and our 24 kind of wrap up conversations in November. Tail end of November, which I feel like is pretty good timing because then that gives you most of December to kind of like really get those ideas dialed. A lot of times it takes the team sending me things that, let's say, we'll call it a rough draft, and I have to kind of put my hands on it and just give my opinion and like get it a little bit closer.
That should always be the case though.
Yeah. So a lot of that was like them sending me their first versions of like Q1 rocks, which I can talk about what that is in a second. And then I have to go in and make a couple of suggestions and I see it again. And usually it takes 2 or 3 drafts, like for me to be pleased with somebody's rocks. And then we can have that final meeting and be like, great, this is our Q1 plan. This is our 25 plan. We're golden. What we do as a business is we sit down and we look at 10-year at a high level, just quickly. I think it's just good to see it so everybody knows like, okay, this is where we're headed. We glance at 5-year, we glance at 3-year, and then we put a lot of time and energy into building out 1 year. So the next year. So we kind of have our 1-year rocks, I suppose, which are like each team member has 3 to 5 big ticket items for 2025. Then you take that backwards.
AJ, this is too much information.
A little bit further. And then you go to Q1 and it's like, okay, how can I take those 3 to 5 big ticket items of like what I want to accomplish in 2025? How do I put it to the ground and to work and make it happen in the first 90 days of the year? Those are what's called your rocks. And each of our team members have 3 to 5 rocks that they can do for the quarter. Then it's a matter of just mapping out timelines for completion dates on each one. Then you can reverse back to like weekly tasks to accomplish those things and daily tasks to accomplish those things. So to get traction to the ground, that's where the traction book by Gino Wickman I talk about all the time. You can do that same method for your personal goal setting is what I'm getting at here. A lot of people, there's the cliche of like New Year's resolutions and like trying to goal set for the next year. Most people don't know how to set goals.
I think that's true. And there's 2 things.
At all.
There's 2 things that stick out to me about what you're talking about. There's 2. Mm-hmm. The first one, wow.
Somebody has super heavy feet.
Is there a 600-pound woman up there? I know that's how I walk. The first one is you set a goal. I don't know when you set that with Hannah. Holy crap. I don't know when you set that with Hannah, but you set a goal for your business and it was pretty outrageous. And then you hit it. And then I think we exceeded it by a little bit. Mm-hmm. And it's just because you set it. And then you worked in reverse to say, okay, now how can I actually hit this number? Instead of starting at the bottom and being like, okay, I want to do a summer camp or I want to do this. It's like, okay, how much money do I want to make? And then how do I add that income, or how do I add these events or whatever the heck it might be that will help me hit this goal? So working from the top down.
If you're not setting your goals
sense.
that way, you're doing it the wrong way.
And I don't think most people do though.
No, nobody does.
And that's kind of crazy.
Because their excuse or their reasoning, the justification for it is like, oh, well, that's all fine and dandy setting the 3-year, 1 year, 3-year, 5-year, 10-year goal. I can see that, how that could maybe have some value, but like how does that help me right now?
Yeah, people are always worried.
And it helps you right
too
now
much.
because you build the vision so that you can raise the ceiling a little bit and know where you're headed long term. Because if you don't, if you just set a 1-year goal each year, where are you headed?
Yeah, that's very true.
You don't know.
I think you can still get to whatever your ultimate goal is, but how do you know what that ultimate goal is unless you
People don't even ask themselves that question. So at least ask yourself, I asked the full thing. Okay, I'm dead. What do I want? All right, I'm 115 years old. Great. I'm 90 years
All right,
old.
pause.
Okay, ask me.
You're on your deathbed.
Yeah.
What do you want your life to have looked like? Or what do you picture your life at that moment being? Did I ask that in a stupid way? What is your life?
I mean, pretty simple, technically.
So what is it?
So just having like added is just have like creating as much service to others as possible to help them like consciously evolve and become better. My family, number one, but then as many people as possible, number two.
Okay.
And therefore, when you do that and provide that service to as many people as you can, you make a lot of money, which the money is important because it buys you
It's a tool.
your freedom of time. And also, if you want to live a fun, creative, free life, it does require money because there's a lot of cool things that you can do in this world, and a lot of which it costs money, like the luxury of driving a really nice vehicle versus not. Is it necessary? No, but if it's available to you and it's possible for you to get,
Why not?
why not? So yeah, the money, like on the deathbed, the money doesn't matter, obviously, but I'll have earned a bunch of it because I'll have provided such a valuable service to so many people, most importantly, my family.
Okay, but you haven't really painted a vision of what your life is. So maybe you took that in a different way than I did.
So reverse back 20 years down the road, Moto Academy will be the biggest brand, the most influential brand in motocross that's ever existed because I'll have provided that valuable service of helping others on the dirt bike, but more importantly, off the dirt bike, to more people and having a bigger reach than any brand. Therefore,
any
we'll have
brand in dirt bike.
Yes.
In dirt bikes. Okay.
Therefore, we'll have made hundreds of millions of dollars, fine and dandy, and
That's it.
that's plenty.
Oh, see, I guess I was looking at
Okay.
this in a different way.
So
Okay.
let's say I'm 45 years old when that happens, 50 years old. Then the next step is transcending the sport even more and helping people that aren't
so
necessarily
you really don't
dirt bikes
understand the question. Okay.
specific. What's the question?
No, I just meant like, give me a vision of what your life is like.
What the heck was I just doing?
Were you about to just swear on
No.
the podcast? Like, for example, for me, I picture a family compound. I picture us buying something like 20 to 60 to 80 acres and being able to have all the kids that we have on it build their homes and have like our
Yeah.
own little community.
Agreed.
Yeah, that's mine.
Okay.
That's all I want. So continue.
Sure. That plus I'll be helping more other people outside of our
You
family,
answered it. And
basically.
You
in a
answered
nutshell.
like the business one, but I was waiting for you to get to the family one, I guess, because no offense to anybody.
Yeah, the
but
family
more
one is the
important.
important one, by the
Yeah.
way. So
You just didn't head there, so I was just concerned.
okay.
Yeah, that's a good job.
Yep. So then most people wouldn't know how to answer that question. You could keep asking me, by the way, specifics to that, and I could
Because
keep going.
you've envisioned it all.
All of it.
Yeah.
And so it just gives you clarity on where you're going. Most people could not answer the question of what are you doing more than 365 days from now.
Yeah, and you also realize the things that people do for money.
Because it's short-term thinking, it's
Yeah.
short-sighted, and it is usually, for a lot of people, only for the dollar. So
Yeah.
what happens is you end up pigeonholing yourself into certain situations and lifestyles and career paths because you haven't thought far enough ahead. So all of a sudden 3 years go by like a blur because you've just been chasing money, and all of a sudden it's like you're making a lot of money, but you're not happy because you're spending all of your time spent is doing something that you don't even like doing in the first place, and you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Sacrificing yourself, your time, your family's time. And I know that I'm very grateful, and I know I'm lucky for us to be in this position, but I'm also in this position because you worked your butt off and I never saw you for like 5 years. But I never realized until like probably the last 6 months. Well, I guess my maternity leave ended in March of 24. So I haven't been working now for 8 months. I mean, I kind of have been because I've helped you a lot with your business, and I've also gotten sponsorships and things like that to help replace some of my income. But I never realized how smart of a move that was until like the last couple of weeks. And freeing me up to help you and just to be home and more present in the home, I never realized how valuable that was until very recently.
Yeah, it was completely obvious, which sometimes it's not obvious in the moment. I knew it was obvious.
It wasn't obvious to me. And I remember hearing one of our friends like a couple months
Because
back.
you also, part of that is you didn't understand how much, not that the money
No, don't
is,
even say it. That's not necessary. That's not necessary.
but that was your hang up.
No, my hang up was worried about lack of control on my end. That was my hang up. Lack of control to have. It's when you lose your financial freedom and you start relying on somebody else, that's huge, especially when I've had like 3 jobs since the moment I met you at all times. I was making great money from the time I was like 17 years old. To not have my own financial freedom and things like that, to save for my retirement, that was just all, and it's all things we figured out. But it's hard for people to give up lacking control. And I remember talking to our friends that came to visit a couple months ago. I remember this vividly. We were standing at the front door saying bye to them. And one of our friends was trying to start a business. And I remember his significant other saying, I don't want him to quit his job because of the benefits. I don't know if you remember this or who I'm talking about or whatever.
I don't.
The wife said that to us about his job. And they left, and you and I were talking about the benefits. And the benefits, like, for an okay salary, it's like, and that's what I was hung up on, was the benefits. My 4 weeks of vacation, my 401k, which, by the way, if you own your own business, you can contribute to those types of things, like, and make more and save more and shelter more in taxes than if you're a W-2 employee. Like, there's so many things that you can do. And most of us are so stuck on like following this path that we're told we need to. I don't know if it's like a global thing or if it's just something in the United States or what it is, where it's like you're not thought to be a business owner or your own leader, and you work for these corporations. And we were even talking about this with like employees and their pay for 2025, like the scale at which you've given to employees, if even, and we don't need to get personal on this. I don't even think it's necessary to bring up, but that didn't happen to me in the corporate world working in finance, where I made like a good salary. We were lucky if we made 3% increase each year. Working around the clock, not even appreciated. You leave, they replace you with somebody younger and cheaper the next day. It's like, I don't know. It's just really weird how we're all wired to think and live our lives. One of my best friends, she's always like, oh, I can't wait to retire. She saved all this money.
Yeah.
Not happy at all. Not happy at all for 20 years.
If you just ask the question and then what, they wouldn't be able to answer.
I'll travel. Oh, it's exhausting to travel, actually. Are you going to travel every single day to make the last 20 years worth it?
Yeah. So think further.
Yeah, think far, far ahead. And honestly, and I want to say don't play it safe, because I think that can go different ways and not be a good thing to say not play it safe. But like,
I don't think so.
Step outside the box and understand like where you feel limited, and ask yourself why you feel that way about certain things. Like for me, giving up control, I still don't. Why was I like that? Because I was worried that you wouldn't provide. Like, I don't know. Like, start questioning why you feel the way you feel about things too when you're setting goals, and ask yourself, can I set them higher?
So, and maybe a lot of people don't even do the annual New Year's resolution thing.
I think a lot of people do, and they're not serious about it.
Or a lot of people do, and maybe they don't really have those conversations with themselves at all the rest of the year. So what Allie just said, a huge key not only is thinking further out. Thinking further out, if you're only doing it once a year, is useless. You need constant and consistent self-reflection, not once a year, not once a quarter, not once a month. You need it every single day. to be able to ask yourself the right questions and like, okay, am I doing the right thing here? Is this the right decision to be making? Am I doing the right thing? Where am I wanting to be headed? Like, if you rewind 3 years ago, for me, I wasn't asking myself any questions. I would literally like have moments sometimes where I like come to and I'd be like,
where am I?
how did I get here? And am I even like, is this where I wanted to be? What's going on here?
And it was obvious too.
It was just momentum carrying me along, which is how 99% of the world operates.
Robots.
When you start asking yourself the right questions, the book I'm reading right now does an amazing job of explaining it. It talks about how every human's purpose, we are here on earth to spiritually transform, to conscious. I call it just conscious evolution. Is like,
that's your term?
Yeah.
Oh, you coined that? No way.
I don't think that was specific in any book that I read. That was the most simple way for me to say, like, what is the ultimate purpose? Mine is to evolve consciously and to help others do so. Transforming, same thing. Transforming requires you to catch these triggers and these things that are causing you to react and be a reactive person, and instead take it, and this book says, use resistance to not act the way that you've been wired to do, and ask yourself the right questions, and to just simply not be reactive. And as you do that, as you experience an obstacle, something that would normally make you react a way that you've been reacting the same way to that thing forever, and you give yourself space to look at it and observe and just not react, you've transformed. So that obstacle is a key to be able to help you transform. The bigger the obstacle, the bigger the transformation. And if you do that on a daily basis, a year goes by, a few years go by, and you are a completely different person.
Well, do you know why most people are reactive?
Yeah, because it's the momentum of just not questioning.
Moving too fast, having too much on your plate, not taking time for yourself, just hustling.
Not asking yourself the right questions, not knowing why you're here in the first place. Not that any of us know for sure why we're here in the first place, but everything that I have read and studied, and it's all pointing the same direction. And that, like, as far as we know, our purpose in being here is to consciously evolve to be closer to that of God. And that requires us not being reactive to anything external at all. And nothing external can affect us in any way unless you allow it to, based on automatic subconscious triggers.
Yeah. I never would have, I was just thinking to like how I would have responded to this conversation or just podcasting with you in general, like a year and a half, 2 years ago. And I would have cut you off so many times trying to interject excitedly and not thinking about like the things that you were saying, and just how much you've been able to help me kind of grow in that way, even in just the last year, in all of 24, to just not think about what I'm going to say back to you, but actually just listen. A lot of people don't do that. I never did. We're all just thinking about the next thing, the next piece of clothing we're going to buy, the next cool car, the next house,
Everybody's got pieces of that.
Yeah, it's really hard in this world.
If you guys get inside the Moto Academy app and you just read the books that are on the book club, you can't lose. Not that it's a win or lose game necessarily, but like you can't.
No, it is because you only win by learning more and by evolving.
Yeah, the lose is remaining the same person.
Stagnant and
which, if there's no such thing as actually staying stagnant, like that's what entropy is it's going the opposite direction, devolving into chaos.
Yeah.
So.
Wow, I don't know where to go from that conversation. I think we only have a couple minutes left, so we're going to have to do a part 2.
So 2025, start trying to be that person.
Yeah, think about ways
in every moment of every day, in every way, and don't make excuses for yourself. One big mantra that I love, because I would always kind of justify, I've leveled up in many ways, and not that it's a comparison, but like I'm pretty far along. And so therefore I would justify certain things that I would do. Let me think of an example. Can't think of one. Well, like having a gummy. I would still have a gummy on occasion. And it's like, well, okay. Jamie brought up a good point. He's like, well, if you can access that level of creativity and then some without the gummy,
same thing I've been
if,
saying.
you know, why? And I was like, yeah, you're right. You're right. And I was like, okay, I won't do it anymore. Because why would I make an excuse for myself and just do it one time?
And then
or like the not working out thing.
And
like,
then you did the same thing for Jamie.
I can work out. I can make 20 minutes a day to do a workout instead of just making excuses to why I shouldn't. It just every inch of your life you can do that. One thing at a time.
I have a question.
And improve.
Do you think you resist like feedback or what's the word I'm looking for? Suggestions that I make because I'm me? Your wife? I don't mean that in a bad way.
No,
I'm just actually genuinely curious.
It's just
Other people
I don't
make you
I don't feel the need to fix all of the things at once, I guess.
I'm not trying to make you.
No, I know. But
I'm
if you
just
make a
wondering-
suggestion, it's I hear it and it's like I'll do it in my own time.
Oh, but if Jamie or Rob says it, you're like, oh, I never thought of it that way. I just noticed a pattern. That's why I asked. It's totally
Well,
fine.
yeah, I guess so. Because if you nag and complain about a lot of things, then I naturally, I guess, would just kind of ignore it.
I nag and complain about a lot of things.
No, but
I didn't realize
maybe more
suggesting
than
that you
Jamie
should buy
does.
Winchester was nagging and complaining. Wild. Cool. But however you get there, I texted Jamie after you told me that because you just noticed it too. I texted Jamie after you came home and told me that happened because you also said the same thing about him with beer, right? Mm-hmm. And he stopped. And he even said Christmas Eve, none of that. He didn't have a drink.
did I say what the mantra was, by the way? It's how you do one thing is how you do everything.
Yeah. And so I texted Jamie when you came home and I said, thank you so much. I've been trying to like tell him to not do this for like almost 2 years now. And you're the person that got him to not do it. It's not that it was frequent or excessive or annoying, but it's not benefiting you in any way. And we also know it's been proven scientifically that it's bad for your health.
The book I'm reading now would describe that as like choosing the darkness over the light is how it describes it. Like,
and it's not that you
in
can't
a small
have fun
way,
and
but
do
there's a
things.
karmic, like you choose the wrong path in small ways.
And it adds up. And
Oh yeah,
compounds.
a year, 6 months down the road, or a year down the road, like you're kind of receiving the effect of that
Yeah.
in ways that maybe you didn't expect.
And that maybe you don't notice. But
Because who
over
are you
time-
doing it for? Yourself. So you're just cheating yourself.
And
I remember
sometimes what? Sorry, go ahead.
I remember having a conversation with a 12-year-old at class because his parents were there, and you could tell right away because he said a couple of things and acted a certain way to where like he was just an excuse maker up the wazoo. Like if I said something, there was instantly a reason why he couldn't do it that way.
In front of his parents?
Oh yeah, in front of the whole class. And I was like, I told him in front of the whole class, I said, do you like riding? Yeah, I love it. I'm like, okay. So when I tell you to do something because it's going to help you become better, the only person you're hurting when you make the excuse and decide not to do it is yourself.
Were his parents okay with that?
Yeah, they loved it. I was like, so don't cheat yourself. Do the right thing because it's making you better, and you don't like that's what matters.
How old was
Doesn't
he?
matter what your parents think or any of that, really. It's just like you do the right thing for yourself.
How old was he?
13?
Did he receive it well, do you think?
Yeah, I think.
Okay, really quickly, because I think...
I was going to try to say something funny, but I couldn't
Go
think of it.
ahead. How long have we been doing this for?
What?
How long have we been doing this for?
An hour.
Okay, because I want to finish this up, because I can hear her getting fussy up there,
Okay.
and I got to make dinner.
I got to go wee-wee.
You got to go whizzy wankers?
Yeah.
Okay, 2025. Just give me a high level of your goals. And then we can do a part 2 with
Okay, everything
podcast
but
questions.
monetary. So
Yeah, don't monetary is
2025.
They're trying so hard to entertain her up there.
Yeah.
They're shaking every toy.
Like specifics? Like, what do you want?
Would you like me to go first?
Sure.
I would like to further consciously evolve. Is that what you called it? I would like to consume less.
Oh, do you want me to answer in a personal way too? Because I was going to start giving you business rocks.
Oh my God. No one.
Rock to the cock?
Albert Joseph. I'd like to consciously evolve further.
Great.
Not through reading books, but by listening to you, who's reading the books.
Okay, I was reading a book this morning.
Okay. Good
Last
for you.
night? When was
Yeah,
it?
you were. With my red light. Book light that I got you. Okay, so consciously evolve. I'd like to consume less. Like, if I'm going to buy something, natural materials. Good for the environment. I don't want to be buying a bunch of random things off of Amazon. I think everyone's addicted to Amazon these days, and it's bad. A lot of people are starting to talk about it.
Not me.
I want to improve my cooking skills for our family. And I would like to start seriously implementing ways to start my own business.
Which is going to be what?
Can't talk about it.
No?
It's a secret. Do you want to give yours on the next one? You want to think about it?
Yeah, my 2025 goals are just to continue being an absolute unit.
Yeah, you really look like a unit right now.
And to sit more disrespectfully in 2025.
Yeah.
And
I'd like to see a leg up on each arm of that chair. I don't know if you can make it work, but wow, look the flexibility.
So
I can't wait to see the haters on Instagram. Why does he sit like that?
yeah, everybody knows what my goals are. What else?
No, that's it then. We're
That's
good.
it.
We'll just end it here.
That's
Part
it.
2.
2025.
Why did I just see
I'm sorry, what?
close the legs? I think it came from the rear.
2025. Oh, yeah.
How do you know it's
What was it? Summer camp?
I don't know. Continue. We gotta go upstairs. No.
Shout out.
Shout out.
Who's still listening? Comment below. Man, I tell you what though. Thank you guys for being a part of the Moto Academy family, because this is just the beginning.
Yeah, it sort of feels like it.
Oh,
I
yeah.
will say the last 6 months.
We're still on the starting line. We're the 30-second board is still up. Like, it hasn't, the 30-second board hasn't even got sideways yet. So
yeah, I will say something shifted in like the last 4 months where it's like,
hold on.
we got a lot of things.
Everybody,
going
hold on. Put your seatbelts on.
In AJ, a lot of things going on in AJ's rear, trying to make their way out.
Put it in gear.
Yeah, because we got a lot.
I
of
just
exciting
put it
things.
in gear is what happened. So the 30-second board. I'm in the main event, so we got the digital 30-second board.
30-second boards.
Yeah, if you're in the main event, it's a digital one, so it actually you see the countdown,
Where's
which
the
is
dump
helpful
truck?
because I put it in gear before the board goes sideways. When the board goes sideways, it's too much of a scramble to put in gear. I do it a little early. So 30-second board is at like 5 seconds left. So I just put it in a second gear and I just tested to make sure that I'm in gear.
Yeah.
Because what you don't want to do is start 2025 in neutral. And
Yeah.
I tell you what, I see too many people at class doing their practice starts. They end up in neutral. So roll that thing out a little bit, make sure. And that's where we're at.
Yeah.
So
Come to mama.
you kidding me? This year's going to be nuts.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun. Already is fun. Okay, I've had enough.
Yeah, me too.
Thank you guys.
Thanks for
Episode,
listening to the two
who
people.
knows? 2024
Thanks
last
to my
podcast.
mom for listening and driver Jamie.
Thanks, driver Jamie. Shout out.
Shout out.